Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Welcome back to Clintonville Slasher. I am your host, Search Frankie Books. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but Bruce Willis, one of the greatest actors to ever grace us with his presence, has got a terminal diagnosis where he has onset Alzheimer's. And I just read that a post where they didn't think he had a lot of time, which is very, very, very sad. So today I like to dedicate this episode to Bruce Willis and some of my favorite films that he was ever in. So let's get started. So this is in no particular order because Bruce Willis has started so many films that it's really hard to narrow down a top four list. So this isn't even in my top four. This is just four of the films that I love a lot. So we're going to start off with number 4, and that is The Whole Nine Yards, released February 18th. It stars Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis. Now, the story a little rundown of the film is that you've got Bruce Willis, who plays a old gangster named Johnny the Tulip Tedeschi, and he moves into he's going into hiding. When he goes into hiding, he befriends his neighbor, who's played by Matthew Perry, who is a dentist, whose name is Nick Oz. And they kind of it's a romantic comedy. It's really funny. I really did love it. Nick Oz, who is a dentist, kind of gets thrown out into this world of gangsters and hitmen, and he's got to kind of figure his way out. And his wife ends up putting a hit on him, and he asks Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi to actually kill him, and he turns it down, and they actually become really good friends. It's really funny. If you guys have never checked it out, The Whole Nine Yards is a really good movie. Now, number 2, Look Who's Talking. It stars John Travolta and Kirstie Alley. Now, I know that Bruce Willis is actually the voice of Mikey. It was released back in 1989. So a little rundown of the movie is that you've got Molly, who is a single mother, and she has a son named Mikey, and she falls in love with a taxi cab driver played by John Travolta, whose name is James in this film. Now, this is a really good romantic comedy. I know it's not horror, but it's a really good, fun family comedy. Bruce Willis plays the voice of Mikey. It's a really good movie. If you guys have never seen it, I highly suggest it. It's a really fun film. And then number 3, I'm going to have to go with The Fifth Element. Released in May 9th, 1997, it stars Gary Oldman and Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich. So a little run of the film is that you have Mila Jovovich, who plays the perfect supreme being. Mankind is about to be destroyed by this rock. Now, Bruce Willis is destroyed by this evil presence. So Bruce Willis plays a ex-military who turns unemployed cab driver named Corbin Dallas. Now, Corbin Dallas is driving his cab. He's about to lose his job. Actually, at this point, he's just lost his job. And Mila Jovovich's character, Lilu, actually falls into his cab. And he has to figure out how he can, defeat this evil presence. Gary Oldman plays an amazing bad guy. This movie is science fiction, action-packed. I can't believe it came out in 97, and it still has a big impact today. This movie is very good. If you like action movies, suspense, and drama, this movie, The Fifth Element, is really, really good. Let's go with number 4, and that is The Last Man Standing, released back in 1996. It stars Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken. Now, this movie is set back in Prohibition days, back in the 1930s, where Bruce Willis plays a gun for hire, and there's a small town out in Texas that are there's ran by 2 different gangs. Bruce Willis ends up playing this guy that gets hired by one gang to take out another gang, and then the gang that he took out, he gets hired by them to take the other one out. I'm talking, this movie is so action-packed that there is a 35-minute shootout scene with Bruce Willis that is just amazing. Christopher Walken's plays this guy named Hickey, and Hickey is actually one of the biggest hitmen from Chicago. If you like old action, like set back in the 30s, this movie is amazing. You like awesome shootout scenes and fight scenes, this movie is going to be up your alley. Now, my top movie is going to actually be Die Hard from 1988, starring Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. Now, this movie takes place, you got Bruce Willis, who is a police officer that's visiting his wife. He's from New York, but he's visiting his wife and he goes to a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Tower, where his wife works. When Hans Gruber and a group of thugs break in and they try to steal these bearer bonds that are worth millions and millions of dollars, Bruce Willis has to figure out a way to stop these, gangsters from stealing all this money, and he's a lone assassin by himself. You're talking action-packed. You're talking awesome fight scenes, cheesy one-liners. Bruce Willis, like, the ending is truly amazing. If you're looking for an action-packed movie, this is the one. Now, is Die Hard from '88 my favorite? No. Die Hard 2 was actually going to be my favorite. They have never made a Die Hard movie that I didn't like. I haven't seen the last one, Die Harder, which was the most previous one that came out, but I've heard good things. I mean, John McClane is so badass that he took out a 747 with a cigarette lighter. I mean, who else can do that? That's amazing. Some of my other favorite films is obviously going to be The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis and Toni Collette, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The issue with that film is that the ending is so good that it overshadows the rest of the film. So it's really hard to put that in your top 10 or 4 or whatever. Pulp Fiction, although he's only in it a couple of parts, also has Christopher Walken's in it. That's another great, directed by Tarantino, another great movie. Unbreakable, another great film starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. He also did Glass, which I've never seen, and I don't know why. He was also in Split, which Split was super rad. There are so many great films that he has done that it is really hard for me to narrow it down. But these are some of my top 4 favorites as like growing up or as a child. I love Bruce Willis. I loved his movies, and it's really sad to see somebody who has graced us with such an amazing stage presence. It doesn't have a lot of time, so that's terrible. I'm gonna miss watching him. His films are amazing. Also, The Expendables. I waited years, my childhood, when I saw Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger standing in a room together, acting. Now, Bruce Willis only has a small part in that, and if you've never seen The Expendables, I could do a full rundown of that one. You got Sylvester Stallone, who plays Barney, and he has a group of mercenaries called the Expendables. Now, Bruce Willis is this guy named Church, and he is offering them a job to the highest bidder. Now, Arnold, I forget his name escapes me from the movie for some reason, but he's the other guy in another rival mercenaries group. And so the two of them are bidding for this job. And obviously Sylvester Stallone wins. Now in Expendables 2, he has Bruce Willis and Arnold have bigger parts. It's so awesome. If you like action films, like the Expendables are awesome. I haven't seen the Expendables 3, but I don't know if Bruce Willis is in that. He probably is. So, yeah, man, it just sucks, seeing him like that. So if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stay horror, have an awesome Wednesday, and we will see you Friday. Later days.